Hello, it's Michael, and I'm going to make a quick video this morning about your perspective and your perception on time and what that means to you, as well as the mindset of abundance versus the mindset of scarcity and lack. So I'm not going to talk too much about the bigger concept of time and what that would mean for you, because I've made other videos on this, and basically just search some of my videos entitled the Living Your Full Lifespan or Understanding the Human Lifespan. And when you consider the human lifespan and what remains for you, you can consider that like a macro level, and basically macro meaning the bigger, and then what micro level would basically mean like this particular moment and living in the present moment and the present time. So that's basically what I recommend, is that you have an observation and awareness and an understanding of a very, very deep understanding of what the human lifespan is and what you're guaranteed, and basically what you're probably going to have versus what you hope to have versus what may or may not occur. So this would be the macro level. The micro level of, sorry about the car noise, there's a lot of wind today, so I decided to make this video in the car. So just want to make sure it was still on. So we're going to talk about real quick scarcity and abundance and lack. So what I recommend basically is realizing that you have an abundance of these things that I recommend with Mend Yourself, which is move, educate, nourish, decompress. And a lot of the reasons that we don't do these things is because we feel that we have a lack of time, or a lack of ability, a lack of logistical, situational ability to create these things in our life. And actually the opposite is true. We actually have an abundance of time and ability. If you're watching this video, then this is very likely the scenario that you're in 2016. So whether or not that's going to be the case in the future is yet to be seen, and whether or not that was the case 100 years ago or 50 years ago, 20 years ago, really doesn't matter, because all we're talking about is this moment right now while you're watching this video. So what I mean by that is a lot of people tell themselves that they don't have time to exercise, they don't have time to fix their own foods and to eat healthy. And even if they know that this isn't true, they come up with excuses of why it's not true. And a lot of times it doesn't even go that deep. They just basically don't even consider it enough to create the change. So the first thing you have to do is increase your awareness and observation of what is accurate and what is really going on in your life, as far as do you have abundance, do you have time to put yourself in a position of health and happiness and well-being? And the answer to that question is yes, you do. I'm certain of it. But whether or not you're willing to put in the work and to take ownership of that is a whole another ball of wax. So a situation of scarcity and not having enough time would just be you're telling yourself, I don't have enough time, which means that you have a lack of time. So how is it that you create either a real situation that you're not lacking time, or a more realistic version of how you view reality, and to realize that you have an abundance of time? And let's say, for instance, you are going to die in a year or 5 years or 10 years or 40 years. Or do you lack time? And you don't. You have whatever time you're going to have. So you have an abundance of the time that you're that you're given, and then after your time is up, then you're still not lacking time. You're just no longer involved in your human lifespan, and who knows what happens after that. So even up to your last moment, you have an abundance of time until you don't have time. So it's your responsibility and your obligation to yourself, if you choose to own your life and to be, personally responsible, to make the best decisions that you can. So as far as moving and exercising and smelling gym air or smelling fresh air and creating a stronger physical version of yourself, if you understand that you have an abundance of time, then you don't feel the situational stress of feeling that you have a lack of time. So when you feel you have lack, then that increases your anxiety, your worry, your tension, and then you're more likely to go to the habits of and the reactivity of stress. So basically, if you can change your view and your perception, then you can also change your internal stress and internal dialogue, which means that it frees up your mental energy to actually take a different path. So another scenario would be feeling like, if you feel like you're lacking time, then you are more prone to attempt to decompress in unhealthy ways, like watching excessive television and this type of behavior, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes. That those behaviors usually come because you're feeling stress and you're trying to escape from the stress of your reality. So if you can put yourself in a position to realize that, to stop stressing about the things that you can stop stressing about, then you have actually freed up time, because you're no longer decompressing in these negative ways, which actually frees up more time. So it's a positive snowball effect versus a negative snowball effect, where stress leads to more stress, and removing stress or releasing yourself from stress actually leads to less stress, which actually leads to more time and more emotional energy to create the situation that you want to create. So basically, that's all I'm going to say about that right now, is just consider, and you can actually Google abundance philosophy or abundance thinking versus scarcity thinking on Google, and come across a lot of good ideas on this topic. But I just wanted to kind of speak about how that pertains to the M.E.N.D philosophy: move, educate, nourish, decompress. So a lot of this change in your mindset comes from educating yourself, which basically is included in the personal, the daily journal, which is on the website. Please download it, and if you think there's something that needs to be added to that, please let me know. But it's, in my view, I believe it's pretty comprehensive as far as like kind of switching your mindset to what it's been to what it should be. So anyway, just take a look at that and enjoy your life, whatever life you have left. Hopefully it's long and prosperous. Have a good day.